Three ODM rebel members of parliament convened a media conference accusing Prime Minister Raila Odinga of being at the center of the push to try 6 post-election violence suspects at The Hague, despite a flurry of activities by one wing of the coalition government to have the cases deferred. The members of parliament claimed Odinga had, during a trip to Iran early this month, met 2 ICC officials and piled pressure on them to speed up the issuance of summonses against the Ocampo 6.
This is no longer about justice, but politics meant to eliminate competitors so that Raila can ride on the wheels of others.
But in a statement through his director of communications, Odinga said the same politicians had earlier claimed that he authored the list of post-election violence suspects. He further accused the members of parliament of dishonesty and rejecting the formation of a local judicial mechanism with the hope that the ICC process would take long. However, the Rift Valley members of parliament said the ICC process had now been politicized.
Kesi za Kosgei na William Ruto itakosa ladha ikiwa Raila hawezi kuuzishwa Hanyang Nyongondani akiwemo kama mshahidi wa Kosgei, kwa sababu mikutano zote za chama zilikuwa zinaongozwa na Kosgei. Yule ambaye alikuwa na nakili uamuzi wa chama alikuwa anaitwa Nyang'o.
President Kibaki's PNU wing of the coalition government is pushing for the deferral of the post-election violence cases. A delegation led by Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka returned to the country over the weekend after concluding a shuttle diplomacy mission to lobby members of the UN Security Council to support Kenya's request for deferral.
The criminal court is down in session.
However, Odinga and his team have opposed the process, saying it was an attempt to shield the suspects from facing justice.
The 2007-2008 post-election violence cases currently before the ICC have triggered more political than legal questions.
In a letter sent to the president of the ICC member states, Christian Vanavesa, through Kenya's permanent representative to the United Nations, President Kibaki says that some of the individuals mentioned by the ICC prosecutor were front-runners for presidential ticket in next year's general election, and their indictment was likely to prejudice international peace and security. Kibaki also believes that the ICC process in Kenya was being used by internal and external players to whip up emotions ahead of the 2012 election. But Prime Minister Raila Odinga's ODM wing holds a contrary opinion. In a letter addressed to the UN Security Council, ODM has denounced the government's push for deferral of post-election violence cases and insists that prosecution of the Kenyan cases at the ICC does not pose any threat to international peace and security. Odinga's team is of the opinion that a majority of Kenyans support the ICC process as the most credible method to fight the culture of impunity, and that local trials would be used to shield the suspects from justice. Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9.